resources. That's going to be interesting to a lot of people who couldn't make it tonight.
Here we are recording now. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Fabulous. All right, darling, we need you to start over from the top.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was awesome. So no, moving on to our next one. We're looking at Lufkins Landscaping.
Okay, so Lufkins Landscape is, again, this is a small local business. This is key to a sustainable society. So let's say you're looking to start a garden as quickly as possible, but you just found out that soil in Pinellas is basically sand. And maybe you plan to start composting, but it takes several months to build soil out of compost. And maybe you don't really want to buy a commercial product in a plastic bag. So if you are thinking, I just want to buy some soil, you can go down to Lufkins Landscape and pick up, or you can also have delivered some of their bulk organic potting soil. Now, if you go there, you get the fun experience of, the place basically looks like a little house, and it's just this couple. Pam Neiman is who you're going to get if you talk on the phone, and just very friendly. Lots of hippie stickers on the windows and things. Just a great little local business. So they do have a website, lufkinslandscape.com, and their website is actually updated and pretty helpful. They've got pictures of the supplies that they have. So they have mulch, they have rocks. It's not the largest selection. Again, the place is relatively small, but it is high quality stuff and very competitively priced, which is a criticism that a lot of small businesses take, but they are very competitive. Their website also has a page that will try to help you calculate quantity. They have a really helpful FAQ page, and Pam is more than happy to talk to you too about your project and kind of help you out. So that's one of my favorite places to go.
Oh, excellent. I stopped by there myself recently doing some of the video, and she was definitely a delight to have around. She didn't mind me shooting some video for us that we'll hopefully see later on our website, but she was more than happy to hear about the gardening boom that's going on right now, and she knows that she's experiencing it. She helps a lot of community gardens. That's one of her big customers as well, in addition to a lot of repeat customers, as she mentioned, because they must love her. So I definitely had enjoy talking with her as well. All right. So moving on, we got some mulch. Hey, Robin, this is your spot.
Hey, okay. So yeah, Seagrass is the best free slow release fertilizer. You can get it at any beach really, but I found you want to get it without all the sand in it. So if you can go to a boat ramp, you can just pull down on that. You can see in that picture, there's concrete. The seagrass just washes right up on the concrete. You can pick it up with a pitchfork, throw it in the back of your truck or the back of your car in like a bucket or whatever. I have some black big pots that I got from Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. That are perfect for my seagrass. And I don't rinse it or anything. You just put it on it as a top layer on around, kind of like mulch you would put around your plants. And it acts like a weed barrier. It also holds moisture in, and it decomposes and acts like a slow release fertilizer. All those little sea creatures just breaking down right into your soil. So I do that whenever there's a storm or it rains a lot, or you just drive by. So if you can find any, and the city does not mind. They don't care. They are going to scoop it up and throw it away in the landfill. So please go get it and use it. You can use it not just on vegetables. You could use it on landscape plants, anything you're growing. It's a great resource. That's free.
So that's awesome. So you like it around storms, but is it like they're daily, or is it just mostly after storms? Or
I can't say
how
it's
often do you go and see it?
Daily. It's actually, I'm lucky that this is kind of close to me, so I can just sort of swing by and see if there's, and it'll be piled up on the rocks. But like North Shore Park, it's there a lot, but you have to walk out onto the beach and trek it back to you can't drive onto the beach at North Shore. So no, it's not something that you can definitely say, you got to like scope it out the day before if you want volunteers to come help you, or you just got to take a nice little drive down to the water. And then if it's not there, you got a nice sea breeze for a minute and then try again the next day. I don't know a good way to tell you when. Some people say there is a season for seagrass, but I'm not really up on that. I just try it by chance after storms.
Oh, awesome. So it's pretty regular after storms then. Got it.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
So I don't have any storms in the next week, do you?
No, but there might be some piled up because if no one's been, but if I find it, I'll drive by it. I don't need it that often. I can always just post an alert. There's seagrass in Bay Vista. Go get it.
Oh, that might not be a bad thing. Reaching out to those resources. So I know you've used it as a mulch around your plants and a weed suppressant. And it's also great, maybe in the summertime, if you're not ready to plant anything and you just want to build some soil, would you recommend that as well?
Exactly. You could top dress your beds with like a foot deep of seagrass and just leave it until you're ready. Yes, absolutely.
You hear that, snowbirds? It's okay. Just grab some seagrass, throw it right on top, let your garden go, and then come back and you'll have some gorgeous soil when you return, hopefully, and no weeds. All right. Excellent. Thank you, Robin.
Sure.
All right. Lisa, your hand's over the camera when it's your turn.
I was turning on my microphone.
Oh, perfect. You knew it was going to be you. Excellent.
Yes. Okay, so soil and mulch. So going off of Robin, definitely the seagrass is great. And then this is what I've been telling a lot of people this year, because of last year, a lot of people got all excited and tried to do gardens kind of before they built the soil. And there's some people kind of that didn't have a lot of success, but that's okay. There was a good learning experience. So this year they are asking more about building the soil, because that's kind of what all of the people that kind of came back and said that, why isn't my plant growing? I put it in the ground 3 months ago and it's the same size, but they just put it in sand. So, but that sea moss, the seagrass, and then also mulch. Now, raw mulch will not grow plants, but you need to let it break down first. So if this is the perfect time before the rainy season to go ahead and get some mulch and let it kind of start deteriorating. So one of the you have on there chip drop. I kind of had this, I wanted to kind of cover like some of the concerns. So with concerns for chip is we don't want trees to be diseased or treated with pesticides, herbicides, or infested with bugs or invasive trees. So some of these trees, they just will cut down a whole bunch of Brazilian peppers. So there'll be tons of little Brazilian peppers in there. So with chip drop, you can put in the description what you want. So the more narrow, the longer it's going to take you to get free mulch, because a lot of arborists don't want to be separating things out. So you might have to wait a little bit more, or you can also, there's an option to put in a tip. So it's free to get anything, but then the more specific you are, they kind of have to be in your area, because it's essentially a win-win, because they don't have to pay a dump fee. So you're saving them a dump fee and then you're getting free mulch. But again, put in those are some major recommendations I tell people, is to say, please, no diseased, plants treated with pesticides, herbicides, infestations, whatever. And I usually ask for oak if possible, or other hardwoods. Then that's the number one resource is not chip drop for me, actually. It's local trusted arborist. So wherever you are in the area, I mean, I guess somebody could be watching this from New York State. Find a local arborist, one that you can trust. Tell them what you want. And especially if they're right around you, they're going to love you because they don't have to dump that. So here locally, the one that my go-to is Jerry Riggers Crane and Tree, and his phone number is 727-254-8161. And he is very responsible with how he separates everything out. He has a yard where he separates out diseased and healthy. He also can provide logs. He chips his own wood. So I got 30 yards from him just for my house. So he can bring large quantities if you need it. He generally wants to dump a large quantity, so he's not paying a lot of gas to go out and drop it for you. But he has done some smaller for specific reasons. And I want to take a moment when I'm going to cry. I skipped it at first, but to remember Johnny B. So he was, if anyone knows Johnny B., he was very integral to our community. Very respectable arborist and tree lover extraordinaire. And I want to take a moment to remember him. He did lose his battle with cancer. And he was a person I also worked with for years to get mulch. So going back to Chip Drop, it's getchipdrop.com. That's my next most trusted resource. And it's a site that connects arborists with people who need mulch or logs. Again, it's mutually beneficial. So even if you don't have any connections with arborists, that's a great way to find some, especially if you're around the house a lot. You can get to meet some arborists that come and drop off things at your house. And if you don't like what you get, then you just don't use them again. And if you do, you go ahead and keep using them. So again, you can specify what you want and make a donation. And then the last one, it's a lot of people love it. I still would rather this be a last resource, is the city or municipal mulch. I can't say 100%. I think all cities do a great job. So I have a little bit of reservation recommending city and municipal mulch. Most cities do have free mulch sites. They don't want to have to pay to get rid of that as refuse. So they'll just put the more irresponsible ones will just put everything, chip it and put it all together. We do have a pretty good program here in Pinellas County and St. Pete in particular, where they have the double sift mulch, which is the higher grade. And some drawbacks might be that it might not be as good as working with an arborist, because they're not going to be as careful looking for things like, they're not going to keep track of where the pesticides or infestations are. So just be cautious of that. So there's been a lot of gardens that have used it and been very happy with it. So just I have a little asterisk next to that one, but the free ones usually you have to go pick up. So you bring your truck to the sites. Gulfport has it. A whole bunch of St. Pete brush sites have it. And if you or somebody else has a truck, you can just go and shovel your own. Okay, I think that's it.
Awesome, excellent. So you like mostly the arborist?
The arborist would be number
Karen,
one.
what's up?
Someone you actually trust. Yeah, someone you actually trust, and then after that, the chip drop.
Well, if I may add something about the city mulch, because that's who I have been using for the last couple of years. They do have a form that you need to fill out, and you have to have a homeowner. Otherwise, they're not going to deliver, because they're not going to pick up again if you're a rental property and the homeowner is really, really upset about what you did. On that form, you can specify what grade of mulch you want. And even their lowest grade by now is treated in the sense that they let it age before they deliver it. And the last 3 times, that's what I got, the free stuff, because I'm trying to save money. And I was really pleasantly surprised. I mean, they say that they charge you per full truckload $45. The last 3 times they didn't. So I don't think that's a mistake or an oversight. So they're delivered to the house free of charge, a ton of mulch. And I have really, really good soil by now. So, but if you don't want to run the risk of introducing disease, you can go to the higher grade mulch where you pay, which is still a lot cheaper than if you were to buy it at a commercial source.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because I didn't even cover buying mulch because I'm all about free. So all the ones that I shared were all free or just a tip, except for like Karen mentioned that you can. I didn't know that they were giving out free mulch now with delivery. Maybe it's because of the pandemic or something, but yeah, they usually charge.
I don't know. I mean, I had the first delivery. I have had deliveries for years, but ever since the pandemic started, they haven't been charging the $45 delivery. So,
good to know.
And I mean, we put like 8 to 10 inches mulch in our yard in order to create very good soil. It's never going to be the best soil in St. Petersburg, because I know a lot of gardeners here who have started this 20 years ago, but I think I have pretty good soil by now.
Awesome.
All right, awesome. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so we've got our soil, we've got our mulch, we know where to find all the free stuff. If we want to spend for it, we know where to go. Now, I guess all we need are plants. Otherwise, we can't really do much in the garden. So I wonder who's in charge of plants. Vanessa.
So first I'm sharing today two of my favorite places to go. And yes, we're starting out with Bill Belado's Earthsong, not just because he's from SUAC and one of the co-founders, but because he has really good variety. And everything he uses is organic methods, no pesticides. He tends to use Lufkins soils, speaking of locally sourced soil, and uses organic plant food and other minerals. We'll have some contact info, but for anybody that's wanting it real quick, his phone number is 727-488-3163. And he's available by appointment because it's actually in the back of his house. So the pictures you see are just a few pictures of the gorgeous, most peaceful place you'll be out there in his backyard. Tons of plants. Just an example of, I've got a variety that I've been getting from him since last year, but on his recent list, to give you an idea of the kind of things he carries, usually average plants, like a regular plant, the 1 gallons, run about $5, with the exceptions of things like fruit trees. Like he has mulberry right now, and a 1 gallon is $10. And he also has the bigger fruit trees, like a tamarind and a carob, which for $25. He also has 4-inch pots that he sells for $3. Again, variety of spinaches, all types of different plants going on. He started selling these really beautiful gift herbs in root pouches, and the pouches are actually woven from 100% recycled water bottles. And he has mint, garlic chives, oregano, sage, pennyroyal. Those are $10, but they last really well. I actually ended up buying them just for myself, and they've watered so well because those pouches hold good. The other thing he's really good at selling is he has a nice variety and is very well informed on perennial, beautiful Florida native wildflowers, both pollinator attractors also. Usually those are also about $5 for a gallon, and he has spiderwort, rose plant, rosinweed, porterweed, tropical sage, which just grows everywhere once you get one of them, wild petunia, Florida violet, and he also has some beautyberry and scarlet hibiscus. So he's got a nice variety there. Definitely a place I would recommend to check out, and a person that's very knowledgeable on the information.
Oh no, I'm sure many of us here have gotten a lot of plants from him. I know I've gotten the best thing in my garden right now is the kale. They're getting ready to shoot, and but they've been looking really good for the last season, and I've had multiple plants from him, so I've had equally good success with all of Bill's plants as well.
Yep, all of mine that I've gotten from him have succeeded well, unless, let's say, a dog peed in it or something.
No, for sure. You know, mine's usually neglect. You know, you can't not water the plants and expect them to survive. So go figure. But don't worry. There's more than just Bill in the area. So we're gonna talk some Little Tree.
Another favorite of mine is Rachel and Carrie over at Little Tree Homestead and Nursery. This was also a project that started last year. If you look at the recording from our SUAC's annual meeting in March, they were one of the success stories that we highlighted, because Rachel had stopped working as part of the pandemic, and her and Carrie started growing these plants, and then they started doing so well with the seedlings that they started to sell them. So they started the nursery and selling everything off. They're the same thing, by appointment. We'll have the information for their Facebook page and their Instagram and website and everything, and also the link to their plant list. Their phone number, we'll have that out there, but if you're interested, is 813-695-0979. And they do free delivery within 5 miles. Farther, they would have a fee, or you can also show up there. That's just some of the pictures of what they have there, but it's really nice, and they've grown food in the front too. They mostly is all seedlings, 4-inch pots. That's why you see a lot of them along the lines of the pictures, and they sell them for $4. I pulled up the list, and most recently what they have going on right now is bok choy, variety of beans, variety of cucumber, variety of eggplant, pepper, squash, tomatoes, our favorite summer spinaches, variety of herbs. And they also have some flowers, edible ones, and pollinator attractors. Another thing that's nice too with Little Tree is not only do they grow the seedlings to sell them, they also donate them to community gardens and to the St. Pete Youth Farm. So another benefit too is the funds from from the seeds that they sell, from the seedling they do sell, they get to use that to grow even more seedlings to help local community gardens and youth farms. It's just another little plug on there. But those are two of my favorites.
Excellent, excellent. How's that garden coming on of yours there, Vanessa? Get everything
It's
planted
coming
that you wanted?
alive. Yep, I use my Lufkins soils. I have most of my seedlings come from them. And once I started fertilizing, finally, I was using the same exact Lufkins soils from last year. All I had to do is add a little bit of fertilizer and things are blooming. So the local resources really do work well.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Next we have up one of my favorite places to go is Jene's Tropicals. I'm a fruit tree nut. I love planting fruit trees all over the place. Some survive, some don't. But you know, my mango that I got from here 3 years ago, it started fruiting that very first year. Gave me 2 little mangoes. Probably would have given me more if I would have recalled that mangoes are mostly water and you just need to give it extra water when it's actually fruiting. But I stopped by there again recently, talked with a little bit of the staff. You know, I couldn't walk 10 feet without a staff member asking me for some help. Hey, is there anything that you're interested in particular? And I had something different for each of them, and they all had something quality to say. I wasn't there to buy blueberries, but I ended up with blueberry bushes. And I was reminded that, hey, make sure you get more than one variety. They cross-pollinate together. So, but either way, this resource, they have hundreds of fruit trees. All of their fruit trees are grafted from local farms and they go straight from the fruiting trees. So it's not often you're going to get one that's not going to be successfully fruited for you. So the mango I have is called it's a dwarf variety called the cogshell. That's currently the only one they have out of stock out of like 60 different mango trees that they have going on there. So the list is insane. The amount of trees is insane. And you're going to find it as a wonderful resource if you're looking for trees. Like I say, I've got blueberry bushes from there. They did have an herb selection, maybe not the best, but they have everything that you want in there. And of course, there's an entire native section on the other side, flowering section to make your garden gorgeous. It's worthy of a stop by if you've never been. They're down there on Central Avenue in St. Pete. We'll have the address later. But, and Jene herself is extremely knowledgeable. She's been in the business a long time, and it's just the amount of knowledge that woman has in her head. Just have a quick conversation with her and you'll know that she knows exactly what she's talking about and she's there to help you. And you can tell she loves what you do, and you got to appreciate that. So it's definitely one I highly recommend checking out if you're interested in some fruit trees. They, like I say, they have lots of other natives and things as well, but that's where I mostly go for fruit trees. So now that we have all our plants in the garden, maybe we need a couple of extra helping hands to get us started. So there's nothing better in my mind than free help, right? Or time valued help, which is exactly what the St. Pete Time Bank talks about. Zoe, are you here?
Yep.
All right.
All right. So it may seem like a bit of an unconventional resource for gardening, but Time Bank is actually like, it helped me build my whole garden basically. It was like super helpful for all the little like odds and ends of things or services that I like didn't have, or like things I didn't know how to do. So basically it's a group of people here in St. Pete that's I believe national. I'm not sure if it's international, but the St. Pete Time Bank is the local version, and it's a group and a community of people that just kind of come together and tell each other what they have to bring to the group, and then they can offer each other services and goods actually for time. So instead of money, use time. So it's free, but you kind of collect time by either doing something for someone that you know how to do, something like I teach music lessons. So I could teach someone a music lesson for half an hour. I would get half of a time credit, and then I can use that time credit for anything else I want that anyone offers in the community of the Time Bank. So they have a website that you build a profile on, and I can put it in the chat. It's stpete.timebanks.org. So if you go on the website, you can join and build a profile and tell people what you have to offer and what you might be looking to, get from people or whatever, I said I was interested in learning more about gardening. There's some people who like provide services through Time Bank, like advice on gardening. So that's always cool. You might be able to find people who want to like swap plants or give up a plant on Time Bank as well. You can also find people like, for my garden beds, I found someone who had a circular saw and knew how to build beds. They kind of just figured it out on the spot, but it turned out really, really well. And you can find people who have trucks, which is really like important for building a garden sometimes, you know, getting the mulch, or for me, I needed to get manure, but I didn't have a truck. So I found someone with a truck through Time Bank. I paid her, you know, like an hour and a half in time credits, which is the amount of time it took. She actually came and helped me scoop the manure too. So it's a good kind of like catch-all resource for like things you might not know how to do, things you might not have, like a truck or like pots or tools or anything like that. Yeah. And let's see, anything else? Yeah, so everyone's time is supposed to be valued the same. So, you know, in the real world, I guess, you know, people have like different prices, like there's different value, you know, say like say a music lesson might be valued as higher than, I don't know, I'm trying to think, I don't know, mowing someone's yard or whatever, but in Time Bank, everybody's time is worth the same. So it's kind of this equal exchange, and it's kind of like this way of doing things without money, and also like building community and like starting to get to know a lot of people in your community that might be like an amazing resource for you. So it's a good kind of catch-all resource for things, anything you could maybe think of. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Zoe. You know, most definitely I've definitely helped some people pull some weeds. And I think one of my first things wasn't a Time Bank official thing, but there were a lot of time bankers there, was re-harvesting a garden, making it more pliable, more usable for youth actually at the PAL program. So that was one of the first things I did. And it was very, very Time Banky. I wasn't part of the Time Bank yet, but it wasn't a very long time after that I was a part of that. And, you know, I got to meet some of the awesomest people like Lisa and Mallory, all kinds of good people that I met there at that first dig. So it's definitely a great social aspect too. And you find friendships, and then of course, time in the garden, can't be wrong with that. So
yeah. And I meant to add too, you just need to go through a little like hour and a half orientation to join. And right now they're virtually, and if you look on the website, usually they're about like twice a month. So they're offered pretty often. So you have a good chance to join soon if you want to. And then there's a Facebook page that a lot of people use for like kind of quicker things than the website. It sometimes can get like a quicker response than the website. So just to put that out there.
There you go. Well, maybe you're having a hard time getting started. Very excited. Thanks for mentioning about that dancing in the Time Bank. I love it. Dance lessons coming up too. We can do that dancing in the garden, right, Renee? All right. So coming up, let's just say, you know, I know where all this stuff is. I don't really want to do the hands-on experience myself. Maybe there's somebody out there that can help me get this going. I just really want to garden, but I don't want to get it done myself. So I want to suggest get help with Peace and Love Edible Gardens. Ooh, let's not pay attention to that. There you go. Edible Gardens. Peace and Love Edible Gardens. What they offer, Desiree Sims, is here in the St. Pete area, and she offers a variety of edible gardening services aiming to cover the entire spectrum, from helping you to plan your own garden and to assist you with DIYing it yourself in case you're interested in that. From consultations all the way to I'll handle it and give all the customers just the turnkey garden ready to go, or ready to harvest. Almost ready to harvest anyway. So she specializes in site selection, garden design, seasonal plant selection, obtaining materials, building the bed, planting, amending the soil with organic fertilizers, everything that you need to get that garden producing as soon as possible. She also offers fruit tree planting and services, as well as containers made of wooden, metal, or water trough raised bed gardens. As you can see here in some of the pictures, I tried to get an example of all those out there. Right there. So if you're interested, she serves the Tampa Bay area, Palmetto, and Brandon areas, and lives in St. Pete. So people would choose her because she has been in 15 years of edible gardening in the Tampa Bay area. She's very reasonably priced and have built a good business on what trusted that can be delivered. She delivers what she is trusted to deliver. Very easy to work with, and definitely excited about this endeavor. And I would say the only thing that a lot of people have a misconception about her is that all she does is specialize in garden bed installation, and it's too expensive to do. She just wants to point out there that is a falsity. She has a wide array of abilities and things that she can help you do, or she can do for you and have it done. So just keep that in mind. It's reasonably priced. I don't know what the price is. I'm sorry, I can't share that here, but I'll put her information at the end. And she has this little bonus thing that she does as well. For every 10 beds that she builds, one free full garden bed is installed for a qualifying nominee. This is an individual or family or someone within the community. So she's doing good in the community that she's in, and I can't imagine a better resource than that. So you have everything that you need now to get started if that's what you want to do. But I just want to point out that you need to be your own best resource as well. Does anybody have any questions about that yet? Before I let Karen take over for how to be your own best resource. Going once, going twice. Okay, I know you guys are, here it is. Go ahead, Karen.
Okay. So I love to grow things, and I love to play around with seeds, and I love to figure out how to make it happen. So first, a disclaimer, I love Earthsong by Bilodeau, and if I need to buy something, that's my first choice. But I'm also, right now, this is what pictures taken in my kitchen today. My husband is out of town, so I've appropriated the whole space, and I am populating seed trays. So here I have a tray. It has a dome with 72 places to place seeds. And I already started the edibles, and I will show you pictures of them in a minute. But this particular tray is dedicated to pollinator attractors, okay? I only use organic seeds and seeds that that are given to me by my plants that I planted last year. So the vegetable trays that I've already done are all from plants that I bought from Bill. New Zealand spinach, I must have thousands of seeds, and I've already started growing them. That is a summer, hardy summer spinach. You can have it in the heat of the Florida sun, and it will do very well, very well. Malabar is the great self-seeder, and I planted some more. And also Okinawa and other type of spinaches that do really well in the heat of the summer, but need more of a shady spot. So I've already started those, and they're growing out there, which is that little tray here over to the left. And the big seeds that, the big sprouts that you see, that is edible hibiscus. It's not just a very delicious lemony plant, and I love to eat those leaves and use it in salads and other dishes. But the blooms are also very, very pretty, and you can eat them, you know. And I think this is at 5 days. So the edible hibiscus is number one. Let me see, I moved over the view. I love seeing all of you, but I would like to see the full screen. Sorry, not full screen. Gallery view. I've lost the share screen. Let me see. Oh, Well, I can't see the screen anymore that you shared. Is there anything that you can do? Amber?
Look at your top right.
Top right.
Try to find something that says enter, exit, full screen.
Oh, I have it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So if you can go to the next one.
All right.
Yeah, to the next slide.
Is that the one? I want the next one.
So here you have to really, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to be an expert because you don't. I mean, most of the stuff that I know I've learned through trial and error. But some of the seeds, and that is the upper picture, you have to soak for 24 to 48 hours. And if you're trying your luck on palm trees, you might have to go as high as 3 weeks of soaking them. So this one is the left one in the reddish is a banana passion fruit. And yes, you can actually eat the fruit. And the right one is a purple frangipani, so it's not edible, but I really wanted to see the purple. And on the lower picture, you see all the seeds that I saved from last year. And these are mostly summer spinaches. And I've already planted them again to come up for this summer. Then on the left one, what you see is sorrel fruit, dried, so it's full of seeds as well. And I'm going to be planting them tomorrow or by the weekend. And the next tray, right now the tray I'm doing is flowers, but the next tray I'm going to be doing is going to be herbs. And if you could please move on to the next slide. So this is some of the stuff that is happening in my yard. So the upper picture is some of the mustard greens that I planted from seed. And I've been eating a lot of mustard greens for the last month. I just love them. I also have grown from seed Swiss chards in there. That's actually one of my favorite, has been for several years. And what you see at the lower left is tomatoes. And one of the nice things when you do tomatoes on your own instead of buying the plants, you can try out some stuff that usually you don't get in a nursery. And yes, these are all organics, but I absolutely love the egg yolk. These are yellow cherry tomatoes, incredible in taste. And there's also one that's called Russian black cherry. And I think that's my favorite this year. It's just, you put it in your mouth and it just pops the taste. They're sweet, flavorful. I just absolutely love them. I also have zebra tomatoes, which, I mean, they're not black and white, but they are orange and a darker orange. And they're really sweet and flavorful as well. And what you see on the right-hand side, that is Surinam's spinach, and that's a prolific self-seeder. The plants, the original plants that I bought from Bill Bilodeau, they're not even close to that flower pot that you see here. But the pollinators have been bringing them all over my yard, and somehow that particular flower pot attracted all of them. I'm also doing other stuff I've noticed in the stores when you do the sprouts, and they're really, really expensive. So for less than $20 that I invested in the sprouting kit, I now grow my own sprouts. I have a full jar that I'm going to harvest tomorrow, and I'm going to make a really nice curry out of them. Because if you let them grow more, where they have all the greens and all that stuff, You can actually cook with them, and it's going to be really tasty. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to make this dish with bean sprouts and mushrooms that I bought at the market. And then I also do my own microgreens. And the startup kit is fairly inexpensive too. And considering how many of them I eat in my salads and my sandwiches, I'm saving a ton of money. And it's not really that much work. And some of that stuff you can do in your house. Some of the other stuff you have to do outside. But the sprouts and the microgreens, not weeds, you can do inside your house. You can actually do them mostly in darkness, and they are packed with nutrients. And you all know when you go to the store, they cost you a ton of money. So I just started doing them on my own. So like I said, I mean, I love doing this. I just get a thrill out of seeing the seeds, the green of the seeds pop out of the dirt. It just makes me feel happy.
That's awesome, Karen. So when did you first start doing the seed saving? And I would say, what was your percentage, do you think, of your first germination rate when you first attempted at saving and restarting your own seeds?
Well, it really depends on what you're trying to do. I have really good luck with some of them, like New Zealand spinach. I think the germination rate is close to 100%. Suriname,
nice.
Yeah, so Suriname, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but the spinach on the right, lower right.
I think that one's Ceylon.
Yeah, it's a prolific self-pollinator. I love the little purple blooms, and I'm out there every day. I have never seen the blooms go to seed. So the bees have to do this for me, and they're doing really well because they're popping up all over the place. Others that are really easy, but you need to be more patient, are Okinawa spinach. I know people where they've never gone to bloom. Mine did bloom, start blooming about 2 months ago, and the seeds are really, really tiny. And then the longevity spinach has blooms that are really close to they look like the Okinawa spinach. And let me tell you one thing, that they are my best pollinator attractors that I have in my front yard. I mean, I have so many monarchs feeding off those blooms of the longevity spinach. It's just amazing. People, because I have them in the front yard. My backyard is to feed the squirrels. My front yard is to feed us. And I have so many butterflies in the front yard that people actually stop and watch the butterflies. I mean, it's just amazing, So it's not just me who's having fun, and I have a very stressful job, so I'm using this as my hobby that cleanses my brain. And it's not just me enjoying it, it's apparently my neighbors too, because I just talked to a mom today and the kids were just, oh, butterfly, 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 So that makes me happy.
Excellent, excellent. What was your hardest one to germinate? What was your lowest germination yield? Was it ever 0?
Purple peas. Germination rate, totally horrible. I think it was less than 10%, even so they were fresh seeds. And then I struggled to make them germinate, and then I don't even like them. So that's on my list anymore to try out. But it was horrible. I mean, I had a full tray of seeds that I put in my little garden, and it was like 10% or less. And then I tried them, and it's like, oh my God. I mean, the blooms are gorgeous because they're big purple blooms, but I just don't like the taste. And like I said, the most prolific, probably New Zealand spinach and the Malabar. The Malabar, not everybody likes it because if you put too much of them in a dish, it is kind of slimy like okra. But in terms of nutrient density and health, Malabar is probably one of the best. And if you put it in a smoothie, unless you overdo it, it's just a really great plant to have.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Karen. All right, guys, I think we're ready to get out there and in the garden. Does anybody have any awesome resources that we might have forgotten? Because this obviously is not going to be all of them, and there's definitely quite a few others out there. But if you have a favorite, how about you give a quick shout out to whoever your favorite is? All right, I'll start. Willow tree.
Did you make it echo on purpose?
No, but that was worked out well, right?
Yeah, it did. It did.
All right, guys. So just that's pretty much our conclusion of the meeting today, but we're going to just, continue on and with any other extra discussions. I'm going to ask for some things like, hey, guys, welcome. Become a member of SUAC today. Just $25 for the year. Oh, Veronica raised her hand. Excellent. Veronica, what you got?
Sorry. Just one resource before you guys wrap it up. One resource that's really amazing. Mallory and Stefan with Wise Hands, they do a lot of native plant landscaping stuff. So if you don't have the time or the resources to be able to go out and actually into your yard and do everything yourself, they can come in and do installs, do maintenance, do repair work, anything that you need to do that involves native plants, they can do that for you. So yeah, I'd really recommend checking them out.
Awesome. Thank you, Veronica.
I would second that. Sorry, Mallory and Stefan, they'll also come and they'll do a survey of your property. If you want them to come and look at what's in your yard before you pull things out, they can identify for you what is invasive or non-invasive or what's a good plant to keep, just in case you're new to the area or something. They're fantastic. They know everything. So I would highly recommend them too. Thank you for remembering.
2 other local resources that I've heard a lot of good things about too is one of them is Urban Harvest, Elise Pickett. I've seen that she does a lot of classes, but she also works with Little Tree and with Bill Bellado Earthsong and resells some of their seedlings, and I think she sells herself too. And another local one is recently opened by Amanda Streets, Living Roots Eco Design and Garden Shop. She sells plants, but she also sells other supplies. And she also does design and everything. She's, I believe, near the Hive, 559 49th Street South. But I know she's a new business, but she's been in design for a long time. This particular business is new.
All right, awesome. Thanks for those extra shout outs, guys. And for anybody else, hey, become a member today, $25 for the year. We're going to talk about many member benefits coming. We already have lots in the works and lots already started and lots that you probably don't already know about to being a member, but we'll get those out as soon as we can. And also, we want your feedback. So instead of the online poll that we do sometimes, I want you to just send this email to here, wedigstpete@gmail.com. Did you like the presentation? Was there something you liked about it? What did you like the least? Where could we have improved? And what was your biggest takeaway of the day? So just keep that in mind. So once again, wedigstpete@gmail.com. We're open for any sources of feedback, good, bad, ugly. You got it. And this is just some of the resources that we had from today. So I'm just going to leave them up there a little bit so you can kind of see, kind of review.
Hey, Amber, could I add another resource? Is it too late? Not to the
resource,
slide, but
not a chance. No, we're just like filling the void right here. Otherwise, we look at this without talk.
Yeah, I think I keep forgetting it because it's like we've been talking about it for so long, but Make Soil is such a great resource for a lot of people who are trying to get better at growing their own soil. So they have great videos, educational videos on there, and also the map where you can find out a place where you can bring your food waste. There's quite a few people that live in places where they can't grow their own food, but they can drop off their food waste. So it's feeding back into that sustainability loop. So I keep forgetting to mention that a lot of people
Makesoil.org, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's makesoil.org. It's a community composting program, and you can become a site where people can come drop things off for you. You don't even have to work to try and make all that biomass yourself.
Yeah.
And or you can, if you once again live in an apartment or something but want to contribute, you can always look, like she's saying, on the source map at makesoil.org, and great community composting program for sure.
And a lot of people actually they give out free compost as well after it's finished. So between Make Soil sites and for locally, Pinellas Community Compost Coalition Alliance. They also have resources where you can get free compost, because that can be, Lufkins has compost, and I usually get mine from there because they get large quantities, but if people are looking for smaller quantities, that might be an option too.
What is the name? What did you just mention?
It's
I'm sorry.
Pinellas Community Compost Alliance. So PCCA is for the Pinellas side. There's also a Hillsborough Community Compost Alliance locally in Tampa Bay. But on Make Soil, you might, it's an international site, so you might be able to find more for wherever you are.
Okay. I have a quick question for you guys, because I'm new to composting. I've been doing it maybe for like a month, and I noticed that the raccoons are like, I'm like, oh my God, I looked yesterday and I saw this raccoon looking right back at me in the daytime. I'm like, what? So I'm wondering, does that attract more little friends coming out? I have a bin, like, that has a lid on it, you know what I mean? But I'm wondering if that has attracted them to come out too. Like,
are you do you have like a mulch pile that you can cover up what you put in? You're in St. Pete, right?
Yes.
Do you have a St. Pete compost unit?
Yes, I got from the city of St. Pete. I got that compost. Yeah, and what I do is when I put the scraps in there, I kind of cover it with leaves. Like I'll put like the coffee grounds, and then I put the leaves like on top. So it's, I don't know. I don't know if does that attract them, make them come out more or something?
It could,
you put but on it, because I mean there's a certain ratio that you're supposed to use.
Yeah, it's generally 50-50, like Karen said. It's the ratio is really important to make sure that's covered up. And if you go to that makesoil.org, they have videos about that where it's pretty much 50-50. And then if it smells, you just put more brown. So a lot of people that are looking for mulch are actually looking to use for compost. So you might need to get a little bit of mulch there if all you have is leaves.
Okay.
But so you're in St. Pete. So you can connect with us, Renee, outside of here. But if you're close by, I'd be happy to go over and look at it. Sometimes it might be a way. I don't know if it's connected to the ground. It does have the screw things that you can put in the ground.
Yes, I have the screws screwed in. Yeah. Okay.
So probably it might attract them a little bit because there's a little bit of smell. So yeah, definitely probably like Karen said, just maybe a little bit more browns to kind of cover up the smell.
Okay.
And I don't mean browns as in coffee grounds. They're color brown, but they're actually considered a green, which is why I said watch those videos. It gets confusing. High nitrogen is green, and browns are more like mulch and like the really dry leaves.
Okay.
That confused me for years.
Well, I have the book.
I actually learned in one of my classes that coffee grounds is the only thing that you can compost on its own. You don't need anything else to do that. But everything else, you need brown stuff, and that's leaves and other yard waste.
Okay.
Sounds excellent, guys. Any other questions? Anybody else want to share what they got going on? No dice? Are you going to make me call on you like second grade? Ready? No. I'm not going to do that to you guys. If you don't want to talk, you don't need to talk. I don't need to squeeze it out of you. But I just want to thank everybody for coming. Lauren, thank you for coming. We're wrapping up right now, actually, Lauren. Anyway, so I just want to thank everyone for coming, and it's been awesome having you here. And once again, please, if you have any thoughts, concerns, anything urban ag related, anything, how you want to see this organization run, just send it to that email. I'll be checking it, and we'll go from there. So thanks, Sharon. Thank you too for coming. So I hope everybody has a good night, and we'll sign you off. I'll give you like 2 minutes, and then
I was going to say, is it going to be on for a little bit or no? Are we going to be able to chat?
I'll leave it on for a bit. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
So feel free to chat as you feel, because now it's just kind of like free chat zone.
Yay. Yeah, I was going to see if anyone was interested. I was looking at the schedule coming up for Earth Day events, and I want to do a seed swap, and I'm trying to be like, you know, be safe about it. But I'm like, I feel like if we do it outside, we could do like a nice seedling swap. Yeah, I think some of you have been over to my house. We have a big green open area down the dirt road.
That sounds good, Lisa. Sign me up for that.
Okay, yeah. So if anyone is interested in this group of like being involved in it, like yeah,
I'd
so we
love
could like
to, and I mean, I don't have seedlings.
I was scared I was going to run out of time. I was like, I'm like, not run out of time, but like
of
too
organic
short. I'm
seeds.
like, I wanted to get it done early,
Oh,
but I
Amber?
didn't want it to be too early.
Amber,
7:30 was my
you-
I think you're still talking.
7:35.
Amber.
Yeah, so.
You're not muted.
Oh, thanks. I'm just talking and everybody can hear me.
Yep.
I muted myself. I couldn't hear you guys.
Interesting. You gave away your inner thoughts.
That's it. Secret to the inner side.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have seedlings to give away yet, but I have thousands of seeds. Like I said, the New Zealand spinach. I mean, I must have like thousands. I mean, literally. I'm not going to sit here and count them, but it's a package of seeds. And the same with the Acanova and the Malabar. Like I said, it's not everybody's favorite, but it's really, really healthy. And if you use it, if you use the young leaves, it's really tasty, just not the old ones, you know.
Yeah, so I think it'd be even cuttings or anything. I'm going to be giving away chicken poop if anyone's interested. So we're going to be cleaning out the chicken poop in time for Earth Day. So I'll have some of that to give out. So that's really a good way to build your soil too, if anyone needs some. Oh no, I think oh, somebody has. Oh, Veronica, you have your hand up.
Oh, I did this whole time.
This whole time.
Oops. How do I
She's
do that?
my daughter and I are sitting in the room next to each other, and she has
There
her
we
hands
go.
up.
No, never mind. There we go.
Does anyone else have any problem? Any problems? Any programs going on or problems in the garden?
Wait. Say something real quick, Mom. Oh wait, no, I can hear you.
Hi, Kitty.
I just have a funny story.
I like funny stories. Go ahead, share, Karen.
One of my neighbors put in a butterfly garden, and then she was crying for help because there were those caterpillars eating her milkweed, and she wanted to know what to do about it. And I just had to laugh. I just thought it was adorable, you know. It's like, why would you plant milkweed if not to attract monarch butterfly caterpillars? So yeah, I thought it was kind of cute. And now she's getting more plants because she has a lot of caterpillars, but not enough plants.
I keep seeing people talk about a lack of milkweed in the area.
Oh yeah, it's a huge problem. And the thing is, I mean, if Vanessa, if you want to have seeds, I have a ton of seeds, you know. You just have to plant them in the right area. I mean, first of all, I usually pamper them along until they're big enough to be planted where I want them to be. But a lot of people say, oh, bright sunlight. And it's like, forget about this. This is Florida. They're not going to do well in bright light. It has to be like filtered light, and they will do really well. But even if the plant is really, really big, it's not going to be supporting a lot of caterpillars, which means you need a ton of them.
Right. I did see something on one of the gardening sites that I never really thought of, because I'm known for like being bad at like thinning. Like, you know, you put a bunch of seeds down, you're supposed to thin out the other ones. And I hate doing that because I feel like I'm killing things, but it is better in the long run. But the same thing with caterpillars, that it's better to go ahead and take off like some of them and just maybe leave one per plant and just kind of put the other ones somewhere else so that they don't starve. Because if you leave all of them on there, they're going to starve. So some people say just take all of them but one, like the healthiest one, and then relocate the other ones to maybe a place where they're not going to live, but at least you'll have one that'll make it to adulthood. So, you know.
The solution is get enough milkweed.
Yeah. If there is any, I think there's a lot of people just saying that all the caterpillars are eating all the milkweed, and then all the caterpillars are dying. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. But also yesterday, really, really interesting, a neighbor of mine, she did plant panthers. And I didn't know that there was a specific, very colorful moth that has caterpillars that only eat panthers.
Wow.
It's really interesting to find out. And if you looked at that caterpillar, you would have never imagined a caterpillar looking something, anything like it. It was just like very, very good learning experience.
Oh, I forgot to mention, there's a new market. They're looking for vendors. If anyone, I don't know if there's any vendors here. I don't know who else is still here, but if you guys know anybody, especially in the gardening, agriculture, well, it's actually anything, but it's called the Southside Fresh Market. And this past weekend, it's going to be every Sunday, rain or shine. So they're looking for local vendors that are focused on fresh produce and like natural products that are produced locally. So if you know anybody, it's only $22. They're trying to keep the price really low. It's on the Deuces, that's why it's $22. And it's sponsored by the Bray Boy family, the Chiefs Creole Cafe family. And so their daughter, Ramona, is starting it, and they're letting her use